learn your trade, be happy, be knowledgeable, get out there. When I first started in the trades at Plum Plumbing, I took every single book home. So I would install something, that book was coming home with me. I dedicated hours and hours of learning my craft, because that's exactly what this is. It's not just a trade, it's a craft.
Welcome to Connected, the Redwood podcast highlighting our commitment to connection is everything. This series is about the people behind the work, our teammates, their journeys, and the moments that shape them. Through these stories, we hope to strengthen the connections that make the Redwood family what it is. So, let's get connected. Today's guest has overcome challenges that many people can't imagine, and through hard work, integrity, and a commitment to helping others, he's built an incredible career and life for his family. His journey from foster care to caring for his father to becoming one of Rite Way's top performing plumbers is exactly the kind of story Connected was created to share. His perspective on growth, opportunity, and treating customers the right way is something I know our teams will connect with. Please welcome plumbing technician from Rite Way in Tucson, James Hart. All right, James, thank you for coming. It's great to have you. Let's just kind of start with, you took a very long route in your childhood and to where you are now. Talk a little bit about your upbringing, where you're from, and then we'll get into kind of your career at Rite Way eventually.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for having me. Honestly, I grew up in Tucson, Arizona. So I was born in Tucson. Around 4 years old, I was separated from my family. I was put in the foster care system. I worked in the foster care system for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and we went through some hard times during that time. It was me and my little sister. I have two other older siblings. They were actually put in a group home, so we were separated around 4 years old. I didn't get to see my sister again until I was about 5, my brother and my sister, till I was about 5, 6 years old. So we went a whole year without seeing them. It was just me and my little sister. Me being 4 years old, it brought on a whole entire responsibility for me because she was 3 and I was 4. Wow. I had to become a man. I had to actually learn to be a man at 4 years old. Around 5, 6 years old, we went through the system. My grandmother finally decided to take us on. She had already taken my older siblings, so they were at the house living there. And then she finally were able to get me and my little sister. And we went out to my grandfather's ranch. He had a nice sized ranch out in Marana. About a year, maybe about a half a year later on that ranch itself, my grandfather came to me, said that I need to stop being lazy, and he threw a book at me. He said, read that book, and I want you to fix that tractor.
How old were you?
I was about 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So with that, I read the book. I dedicated a lot of time. About a year later, I had that tractor running, and it was my farm truck. So I was driving that thing around majority of my life. So I ended up doing multiple engine rebuilds on that actual truck. So
wow.
Had a lot of fun growing up, dealing with dirt bikes and ATVs, things like that. Breakdown, I had them fixed and I was running again and I was having fun. That was a lot of my life, was running around on dirt bikes, going to school. The dirt bikes weren't for fun, unfortunately.
Right.
We were chasing after cattle, shooting them with paintball guns to mark them as our actual stock and everything. So we were working, but we were also having a lot of fun out there. Yeah, it was a hard life, but it was a good life. I learned work ethic from a young age, which helps me out today.
Sure.
My grandfather knew what he was doing. He was a military police officer in the Air Force. He started off in the Navy. They don't actually have a MOS for military police, so everybody in the Navy actually pulls and draws for the MP position. He pulled and drawed it, and he fell in love with it. So he got out of that and went to the Air Force, and he started doing MPing there. So I had that military background, and he was very strict. So it was Yeah, I lived in that kind of lifestyle, so it gave me a fascination of the military as well. So as I was going through my years,
Where did you go to elementary school and high school?
yeah, so I actually went to Marana schools districts. It was Desert Winds, Picture Rocks, and then I went to Marana Middle School and then Marana High School. So I stuck out there pretty much most of my life. Uh, as I was progressing through there, I found myself to be different than most people. A little bit more different than even the cattle kids that would go to school with me. Just because I grew up a different way.
Sure.
I was doing things that they were when they were in school or they were doing it at 6 years old. They weren't rebuilding engines and things like that. So I had a little bit of a difference. So I was a little bit of an outcast kind of deal. But I grew up and got to high school. I figured, you know what, I'm gonna sign up for the military. And I did. I went ahead and put my name on the dotted line. And about a month later, after I had put my name on the dotted line, my dad became disabled. He was diagnosed with MS and he no longer could walk. And that took a responsibility. Military saw that responsibility that came upon me and they released me, allowed me to go back home and take care of my father. Um, with that, I just grew and ended up getting approached by a small company that did contracting with the government. They saw that I had a very high ASVAB score. I was willing to go into the military. I had deferred from the military, so they saw the opportunity and they took the chance on me.
How old were you at this time?
I was actually 18 years old.
Okay.
I was set to leave like a month before those people approached me. With that, I jumped into a whole entire career and I launched it from there. First year I worked with them, I traveled to foreign countries. I did a active combat area. I worked doing catholicals and water wells. In the active combat area, I was doing water wells for less fortunate people. So we were going out there drilling wells and establishing actual wellheads and things like that. And we were also plumbing them. So that was my first actual introduction to plumbing itself.
And this was an actual war zone?
This was an actual war zone. So there was missiles and things flying,
Jeez.
airplanes flying overhead, shooting guns. It was a whole entire thing. Now, of course, I was a civilian contractor, so I did not have a weapon. I walked in there with a pipe wrench. So it was a very interesting time going through all of that. I really enjoyed it though. But I had to get out of it. There was an accident that happened in 2011. I won't go too much into details as there is things that won't allow me to actually speak about
Sure.
it. But an accident happened in 2011, and I got out of it. I was the only one that came back home, and I ended up re-looking at my life. And when I got home, I ended up going and finding some meandering things. Found a job. It wasn't a very big and boastful job. It was minimum wage. I came from a job where I was making like $250,000 a year to making around $75,000 a year.
Wow.
I needed that break. I ended up working there for maybe about 3 months, and then I decided that that wasn't for me. The money wasn't there, and I moved. I moved on. I found a general contractor. I started working for the general contractor for a few years, doing multiple things. I wasn't just doing plumbing with him. I was actually doing electric. I was doing carpentry, drywall. I was doing quite a bit of things. Don't get me started on drywall. I'm not a good drywaller. Plumbing, I have proclaimed that I am not a drywaller. I could cut into your walls, get the plumbing done, but don't expect me to put it back. That's actually one of the jokes I have with one of my or a lot of my customers as well. I'll tell them that I'll knock it down, but I won't put it back.
Right.
But yeah, no, progressing through life was very interesting for me. A lot of life lessons was learned at young age, and going into the general contracting showed me that I really do love plumbing because I had the plumbing experience in the drilling rigs, and I came to this guy or this contractor, and the things that I really loved the most was gas piping. I loved doing the digging from propane tanks 15 feet away from the actual home, digging it all the way up to the house and plumbing it into the house, directing everything. It was just amazing, running threaders, and it was plumbing. That was plumbing 101, and I was right on top of it. The man that was actually teaching me was a subcontractor for this contractor. Which is actually a funny story. I'll get into that one actually right now. So this man was named Shane Bird. He taught me pretty much everything that is to do with gas plumbing. And go down the road a little bit, and we are at Rite Way, and his wife actually works for Rite Way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's a dispatcher at Rite Way itself. So I
Wow.
found that really funny that 10, 15 years down the road and I run right back
That's
into them.
crazy.
So, and it's
That's
in the
great.
same company that I'm working with. So it was a pretty amazing and cool
That's
little
great.
fact.
So tell us, how did you get into plumbing, and your transition into plumbing specifically?
Yeah, so I went with that contractor for about a year. After that, I went back to the drilling rigs and I started doing that again. This time I told them that I'm not doing any foreign countries. I'm not going to combat areas. So they had me traveling. I traveled 28 different states, doing cathodicals, corrosion control for underground facilities, and water wells. Um, I can say a little bit of what I was doing on protections and things like that. I was actually doing nuclear facilities and nuclear sites and things like that. We were doing corrosion so that it wouldn't corrode the actual facilities that these things sit in.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was a very fun time, but we were also doing water wells at the same time. And during that time, I was actually plumbing water wells a majority of my time. Just straight dropping pumps into wells and plumbing the well all the way down to a storage tank, putting it into pressure tanks and booster pumps and sending it right to the house. I didn't do the portion to running it to the house. I did all of the actual water work. So I was doing majority of getting you water out in the rural areas kind of deal. So I really, really fell in love with it. Even though I was messing with galvanized all the time and PVC, I really fell in love with it. Um, I got out of that 3 years later, and I went back to working with the contractor. And with that contractor, I told him, I'm a plumber now. I won't do anything else. He had me doing kind of service plumbing. He was more of a like remodel plumber. So I'd
Right.
go in there, give him an estimate on actually remodeling a bathroom, and then I would go in there and remodel the bathroom. I have actually one where it was Atria. It was a senior home care facility, and then we were remodeling their main bathroom. And that one actually hits me a lot because of the reason that I remember breaking the angle stops off when I was pulling the cabinet off of the wall, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where the shutoff was. I didn't even know what a backflow was. So it was a very interesting time for me. Um, from that point on, I said that I will never, ever, ever do that again. I will never flood a bathroom. I will never have anything on. And that's when my actual real plumbing career became. I was more focused. I wanted to learn more because I never wanted to be in that situation again.
Right.
Because it never feels good when you're in somebody's home or in a commercial business and something happens in that nature. It makes you feel bad because now you just caused a couple of $1,000s worth of damage in the house. So I never wanted to do that again. So I dedicated myself even more to learning about how to do plumbing, and I ended up. Waking up one morning and I was driving to the contractor's home because that's where his business was set up. I was driving to his contract or the contractor's home, and while I was on the freeway, he texted me saying, "Hey, I sold my house, sold the business, or excuse me, he didn't sell the business. He took the business with him. He sold his house and he said he was leaving, and he closed his doors.
Wow.
I didn't have an opportunity to even find a job. So I was out of a job. Uh, I took the opportunity, vacation. I went straight to California, and I was sitting on the beaches in California on a picnic bench, just wondering what I'm going to do with my life. So I figured, you know what? I have all of this stress in life. I take care of my dad. It's so stressful. Maybe I need to change my life. And as I was sitting on the beach in California, I was putting in applications to California businesses, and I put in one for Tucson business. And I said, you know what? If I'm to be in Tucson, then I'll put in this application. But if I'm not, I'll put in applications all over California. And within an hour, 2 hours, Plum Plumbing sent me an email saying, "Hey, we're interested." And I had to pack all my stuff back up and drive 7 hours, 6 hours down the road back home. Got home, went to bed, woke up that morning, went into the meeting or the interview, and killed it. I made it. Plum Plumbing hired me right on the spot.
That's great. Just for our listeners, Plum Plumbing was an acquisition that we did for Rite Way. Rite Way acquired Plum Plumbing about 2 years ago or so, around there.
Correct. Yeah.
So there's a kind of a little bit of a funny story. You found out the same day that Rite Way was acquiring Plum Plumbing that your wife was also pregnant.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what were you feeling? How did that, that's a lot for one day.
It was scary. So 6.5 years of working at Plum Plumbing, and we get these, I believe it was in December, we get this actual notice from the owner of Plum Plumbing. He says that, hey, I've sold the business and we're going over to Rite Way. That same day, my wife was in the hospital because she was not feeling very good, and she had found out that she was having a baby. It was extremely scary for me because literally right when I got home, I had this news that we were moving over, and she had this news that we were having a baby. And the biggest thing why it was so scary for me was because I knew that Rite Way wasn't the same thing as Plum Plumbing. Plum Plumbing was an hourly company, meaning I didn't make any commission. I didn't do any of that. It was all about the customer and doing it hourly. Unfortunately, it's not the way to make money, and that's why Plum Plumbing's not around anymore, is because it's not a way to make money. In this business, we have to be, in a way, progressive in actually talking about our products. Selling, I don't want to say selling, because we're not salesmen. We're plumbers. We're electricians, we're HVAC techs. We're not salesmen. We come in the house, we may come off as salesmen to some people, but we come in the house as professional, knowledgeable people. If you can actually bring your knowledge, this is one thing I hear all the time. Don't talk technical to the customers. In my honest opinion, shoot out all of your technical terms, get it all out there. And then when you sit down with the customer, that's when you actually break it down into layman terms. Give them the actual terms where they can understand. Just like with the fill valve. A fill valve has a diaphragm inside of it. It's also got a plunger on it. But the customer doesn't know it as a diaphragm or a plunger. They know it as a thing in the toilet. Right. When that thing starts screaming and it's making noises, there's one thing that could be wrong with it. The diaphragm is ripped. So I go into that knowledge of telling them, yeah, the diaphragm's ripped, the plunger is all corroded, it's not going all the way up. And then when I actually sit down with them, I'll tell them, hey, it's like a balloon. It's a balloon that's sitting inside of it. Have you ever cut a balloon and blown in it? It screams. That's what's happening in this case. And it's just breaking down that knowledge of what you have will help you sell, because the customer's looking for knowledge. They're not looking for price. And that's the biggest mistake that we make, is that they're not looking for price. If you're coming off as a salesman, they're going to look at the price. But if you're coming off as a knowledgeable person, they're not going to look at the price. They're looking at your knowledge. They're like, hey, you're smart. I like you. And boom, you got a customer for life.
You come to the Redwood family and Rite Way specifically through an acquisition. Yes. Talk a little bit about that experience. I know that can be you can be anxious about something like that. What was the experience like, the onboarding, and how has it been since you've been a part of Rite Way?
It was amazing, actually. The first day of moving over to Rite Way, we just came in as we were. We didn't come in uniforms. We didn't come in there. It was very, very welcoming. First day, we got to meet half of Redwood's inviting parties for us. We also got to meet all of the management staff at Rite Way. It was an experience. Honestly, when I woke up that morning, I was scared. I wasn't wanting to do this. I didn't want to go. My wife pushed me out the door. She said, "Go, give it a try." I know you're not a salesman. I know you don't feel like you're going to be a good fit. You're not going to be successful here. I know that that's how you're feeling because of the reason that you have to push for sales and you're not just making hourly anymore. You're relying on your commission, which is awesome at Right Way. I don't rely on my commission. They also give me hourly as well. So it helps out a little bit. So it also helps me not push and not be a salesman as well. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, that first day in the field, it was amazing. I completely changed everything. I mean, of course, the first day I wasn't doing very well. Um, from here, though, I can tell you that I have customers that have been calling me for 8, 9 years now. They repeatedly come back. Plumbing, they used to come there all the time. Right Way, they call us all the time now too. So it's about establishing your connections, and Right Way definitely knows how to establish connections with us as well. The plumbing team came over, and I will say that we're all very grateful for the actual move that Steve did for us, because it wasn't an easy decision just to give up his company. And when he did, I'm glad that he chose Right Way.
That's
because
great.
it was a great transition. Everything worked out perfect for us.
That's great.
Very happy.
What advice would you give to somebody who has come over from an acquisition? I know it's can be tough.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them for their first few weeks?
Yeah, stick it out. Then stay strong. Go for it. Because I wasn't going to do it. I was literally going to go find a different company that did the same thing as Plumbing, and then I probably would have ended up down the same exact path, and then just kept on doing it.
Sure.
So stick with it. Do it. Get out there in the field. You'll find out that sales come with your knowledge. It isn't about selling. It's about giving the customer the satisfaction and the comfort in the home itself, which is another reason why I really love Right Way, because that's our actual motto. It's about providing comfort to you in your home.
Right.
And I stand by that. That is a great motto. Customers are everything for me. I might be an introvert, but I am definitely an extrovert when it comes to plumbing. You get me onto plumbing, I will shine, and I'll start going all over for it. So just like last night, I was talking to one of the techs, and he was down and out, and I was just lifting his spirits back up, telling him, dude, I know it's 6 o'clock at night. I know you're having trouble with this part. Just keep on going. Just take a step back, take a breath, keep on going.
That's great.
Yeah, it's worth it. 100%. Being a plumber, electrician, tradesman, it's worth it in the end. Learn your trade, be happy, be knowledgeable, get out there. When I first started in the trades at Plumbing, I took every single book home. So I would install something, that book was coming home with me. I would read, I would get on YouTube, I'd learn. I dedicated hours and hours of learning of my craft, because that's exactly what this is. It's not just a trade, it's a craft.
Sure.
And as you know, I really do appreciate craftsmanship, seeing woodworking, seeing electricians putting all of their conduits in straight lines, and plumbers coming in and making holes in walls and having fun doing that stuff. Service plumbing coming in and actually saving the day. It's one of the best feelings ever. As service plumbing, we're heroes, 100%.
It's true.
Uh,
You say you call yourself a plumber and not a salesman. Last year, you sold $1.3 million. How do you drive the two of those? Explain your philosophy.
So, yeah, honestly, every single bit of that 1.3 I sold wasn't sales. It was me being a son to these customers. Is me being a brother to these customers. It's family, treating them like family. I never walked in there with the thought of, I'm going to sell this. I never walked in there like that. I walked in there to find your issues and to fix it. And of course, with majority of homes, people neglect and it doesn't get worked on. So of course, a lot of the jobs are going to be $8,000, $10,000 to actually help you. But that's the point, is I'm not there to sell you something. I'm there to help you. I'm there to help prevent issues in the future. As the leak detector with the company itself, I see hundreds of thousands of dollars of damages from water, gas lines leaking. I've seen I've seen so many different things in my career when it comes down to sewer, gas, plumbing, electrical, water, air. I've seen all of it, and it's nerve-wracking and heartbreaking when you walk into a home and someone's crying at you, saying that I wish I was being a little bit more proactive on that. So when I go into a house, I want to feel proactive. I want to prevent you from crying to the plumber
Yeah.
when I come out, because that's my goal. My goal is to keep you comfortable so that you don't ever have to actually worry. And if you do, you know who to call.
Yeah. And you've had a lot of success financially in your career so far, even from plumbing to Rite Way. Talk a little bit about that, and you mentioned that you were a little bit nervous of going from hourly to commission. How has that worked out?
It's worked out amazing. Very, very much amazing. Um, Over at the hourly company, I was making less than $100,000 a year. With Right Way, I'm making plus $100,000 a year. I think I pulled in, what was it? I can't remember exactly what I pulled in last year. I think it was $130,000, 135, somewhere in that range.
Wow.
And with that, I've learned that the money comes. You don't need to push for it. It comes to you. Just keep on going. This week is going to be a little bit more harder on me, but I will go in there not thinking that I need this week to be able to get this week done and actually paid a decent paycheck. I don't need to walk in there doing that because I know that it's going to come. I don't have to push. I don't have to be impatient. It's going to come.
Yeah.
Not this week, maybe next week. If I didn't hit my bonus this week, I'm gonna hit it next week. I'm not pushy for that money, but I do enjoy the money.
You also got the coveted award of the Right Way Rock Star.
Correct.
What did that mean to you?
Oh, it's actually really amazing. I made it twice in a year, and I like the recognition. The Right Way sees me. They actually see me as not just an employee. They don't see me as employee 1005. They see me as James Hart, and that's important to me. If I'm working for somebody, I want them to actually appreciate me as well, as much as I appreciate them, their truck, their actual service, and all their actual parts on the truck. I want to take care of that just as long as they're taking care of me. And Right Way is right there with it. They definitely know how to take care of their employees.
That's right. You went from living in a trailer to now owning a house in one of Arizona's best school districts.
Yeah.
Talk about that. What does that mean to you now? Like when you look back at where you were, let's say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or even just growing up as a child,
Yeah.
I assume this is a dream come true for you.
It really is. I would have never thought that I would have been at $130,000 a month or a year total. I always figured that I'd work the ranch. I would just do it for free, and everything that I made off of the ranch would just go right back into it. So that was my life goal at the beginning of my life. And as time progressed, I've seen things change. Of course, I was making a ton of money working for the government and things like that, but I didn't see growth there. I see growth in the plumbing field, and I see it, the changes, the technology, everything that's coming is amazing. And to see it actually blossom the way it is and to be a part of it, it's actually pretty amazing.
And it's given you the ability to do other things. I think you mentioned to me that your wife doesn't necessarily have to work and she can help take care of your daughter. The other things that has given you opportunities that you wouldn't have had before.
Yeah, exactly. No, it really has. Just like what you mentioned, I went from a trailer, living, actually before the trailer, I was in a apartment building taking care of my dad. We went to the apartments to owning our own trailer to living there for about a year and a half, and then we went from there, and now I live in a 4-bedroom house in Vail, one of the best school districts in Arizona, which very happy because I have a 14-year-old that is going into the actual high school here soon. She was homeschooled, so I feel very comfortable bringing her into this school district because of the actual A++ society that they have there. Now with my daughter as well, she's 1.5 now. She gets the opportunity to go to one of the best schools and actually get the education that she needs to grow up and be successful in life. Hopefully she doesn't go to college and she gets into the trades because it's one of the best places. I mean, I wouldn't hate that she would go to college. Maybe she'd be a doctor or something. That would be a very amazing too. But plumbers win over doctors every day, in my opinion, too. So
I love it. Well, thank you, James. It's been amazing. Your story is really inspirational. So thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
of course, thank you for having me.